In the 13th century, Italian traveler Marco Polo arrived on the southeastern coast of China. He was profoundly impressed by the port city of Zayton. The city of Zayton is one of the largest ports in the world. A great number of merchants have swarmed into this city. Goods pile up like hills. The scene is incredible. The descriptions in the travels of Marco Polo made a profound impact on the imagination of the Western world. Zayton refers to the flowering coral tree in Chinese. The city, named after this tree, served as a maritime trade center during the Song and Yuan dynasties, from the 10th to the 14th centuries. It stood at the starting point of the ancient Maritime Silk Road. Today, it is known as Quanzhou in southeast China's Fujian province. To a symphony of teacups and covered bowls, the ancient city of Quanzhou begins its daily life. Neighborhoods buzz with the local dialects that mark a unique rhythm of Minnan culture. Zongshan Road has been a well-known commercial area in Quanzhou for nearly a century, with complete rows of arcade houses well preserved. This road is where Zheng Guowei goes to work. In recent years, he has been involved in the preservation and restoration of the Zongshan Road historical and cultural block. Many of the beautiful arcade houses lining the street have been restored with his help. The arcade houses along Zongshan Road were built in the 1920s by returning overseas Chinese from Quanzhou who had been engaged in trade in Southeast Asia. This Southeast Asia-style colonnade architecture was designed to provide both shade from the sun and shelter from rain, thereby easing the flow of business. The second-floor residences sit above the ground-floor shops, giving rise to the distinctive architectural style of these so-called arcade houses.
在我们要来修缮之前啊，这些窗啊，它以前好像是用那铝合金的，但是达不到这个中山南路这个老旧的这个味道，所以说为了提升它有这个历史感，就把它改成一些木窗，就好像一些花、一些鸟啊，它那个有那个花纹的哦，那种也是我们本地传统的一种技术，就是把它哦经过提升哦，把它堆塑上去。 所以说，现在整体哦效果就提升了很多。
Cut porcelain carving is one of the common decorative techniques in Minnan architecture. This technique can be seen almost everywhere in the ancient city of Quanzhou. Today, Zheng Guowei is scheduled to restore the cut porcelain carving on a building in the block. This method uses cheap, damaged colored porcelain and cuts it into various shapes and sizes according to a specific design. The pieces are then used to create scenes featuring people, flowers, birds, and landscapes. This technique not only tests the delicacy of the artisan's skills, but also demands a high standard of aesthetics. Using this meticulous craftsmanship, artisans vividly portrayed the traditional features of Quanzhou's old streets and alleys.
近年来呢，我们对古城6.41平方公里分成8个分区在实施。那其中的第一分区将近1平方公里，我们已经基本综合整治完了。在我们实施当中呢，主要就是体现在我们把原来的这个建筑风貌、格局、旧城的肌理全部进行了保护，这是一方面。另一方面呢，我们把原住民的原生活状态也进行保护，进人进物进生活流行留乡愁的这种理念就得到了完全的这个体现。
Two ancient pagodas to the east and west, a long street stretching north and south. This poem describes the iconic streets of Quanzhou, West Street and Zongshan Road. What few people know is that the cross-shaped layout of these two streets has remained unchanged for over 1,000 years, from the 10th century to the present day. The ancient city of Quanzhou was relocated during the Tang dynasty from the 7th to the 10th century. Thereafter, the area where Zongshan Road now stands became a major thoroughfare. Over time, the city expanded further, forming the current cross-shaped layout. Urban planner Xu Meng, who spent several years deeply involved in the planning and preservation of the historical and cultural city of Quanzhou, believes that the construction and location of Quanzhou are closely tied to its geographical environment.
那《山海经》提到，闽在海中，西北有山，所以呢，西北边呢就是隔绝整个福建和中原的这个武夷山脉，南边呢就是面南海，所以呢，泉州这个地理背景是整个福建地理背景的一个非常完整的典型的缩影。
The Dayun Mountains stretch across the northwest for over 300 kilometers, with their rolling ridges extending all the way to the East China Sea. Where the mountains meet the sea, Quanzhou's over 540-kilometer coastline is dotted with 3 bays and 12 ports. This area was once considered a remote wilderness, far away from the Central Plains. Throughout Chinese history, there were numerous instances of large-scale migrations from the north to the south as people fled from war and chaos. By the Tang dynasty, Quanzhou's population had grown to hundreds of thousands. Limited land space with an abundant population forced the people of Quanzhou to live by and rely on the sea. In the year 700 AD, the Wurong prefecture government was moved eastward from Fengzhou to the land between the Jinjiang and Luoyang rivers, where the ancient city of Quanzhou is located today.
我们看泉州北侧的山，占了市域大范围的面积。然后呢，泉州古城在晋江的旁边，也是在夹着洛阳江的中间。再往南走，就到了整个福建的海域，所以构成了一个山江成海的一个体系。那山提供的是大量的生产要素和生产资料，那城市呢负责生产资料的交换，那江呢就是从山区运到城市，那海洋则负责着向外的对外运输。
With the rise of the Maritime Silk Road, Quanzhou became a critical hub connecting the sea routes between east and west in a global maritime trade network. Long-distance merchant ships could reach the Japanese islands and the Korean peninsula to the east and sail westward to Southeast Asia and all the way to Western Asia and the east coast of Africa. Thanks to this geographical advantage, Quanzhou emerged as the leading port on China's southeastern coast from the 10th to the 14th century, at one point becoming the largest port in the east. At its peak, Quanzhou conducted sea trade with 98 countries and regions worldwide. Shehu area, part of Quanzhou port, serves as a significant stone distribution center in Southeast Asia today. It was once an ancient dock with a history going back of over 1,000 years. In 2021, UNESCO inscribed Quanzhou, Emporium of the World, in Songyuan, China, on the World Heritage List. Shehu Dock is an important historical relic within the Heritage Protection Area. Guo Zhengpei, who grew up in Shehu Village, is now a staff member at the Shehu Dock World Heritage Management Station.
我那时候还小，不懂事，我没想着说，哎，这不就是一块海里面的一个大石头吗？走到另外一面的时候，就会发现说，另外一侧的话就刻满了这些密密麻麻的台阶，然后再往上走的时候，就发现了一些拴船的一些船孔啊、木桩孔啊。后来听当地的这些比较有年纪的老人家说， 其实这个时候的话，这一块礁石这一块，它就是唐朝时期的一个古渡口。
Every ship entering or leaving Shehu Dock today still sees Liu Sheng Pagoda, first built during the northern Song dynasty between the 10th and 12th centuries. For Lin Han, who has spent years studying the history of Quanzhou's maritime connections, the ancient pagoda holds special significance for the city. To further confirm the role of Liu Sheng Pagoda in the ancient Quanzhou port system, Lin Han sought out Zhang Guohui, an experienced local boatman.
张老师，就我们最近在做这一个航标塔的一些这个资料的一个整理嘛。
Zhang Guohui shared with Lin Han an ancient book he had carefully preserved for many years, Zhen Lu Bu, or Handbook of Sailing Directions. This book is a unique Chinese navigation guide from the era of traditional wooden sailing ships. Due to its content involving secret information about shipping routes, port commercial networks, and maritime resources, it was known as the Sailor's Secret Book. It was often passed down in private from generation to generation by sailors. Surviving copies are extremely rare today. The Zhenlu Bu in Zhang Guohui's possession clearly records how ships entering and leaving Quanzhou port used Liu Sheng Pagoda as a navigational aid to avoid reefs.
张老师，这边呢也有提到这个日湖塔，那这个日湖塔应该就是我们现在的这个石湖塔，
对。
那像这边的这一句话，您帮我这一个解读一下。
就是说夜间行船不可太急，不要太靠近，书仔细看。
In ancient times, guided by Zhenlu Bu, ships entering the port used Liu Sheng Pagoda as a navigational marker to avoid reefs and reach the docks safely. In Quanzhou's ancient sea-land transport system, Luoyang Bridge is another significant historical relic. It is also the oldest surviving cross-sea stone beam bridge in China. The construction of Luoyang Bridge began in 1053 AD and was completed in 1059 AD under the supervision of Cai Xiang, one of the four great calligraphers of the northern Song dynasty and the then governor of Quanzhou. The bridge, now about 731 meters long, not only facilitated travel for locals on both sides, but also significantly shortened the trade route from Quanzhou northward to Fuzhou, Jiangsu, and Zhejiang provinces, and central China. Located near the mouth of the Luoyang River, the bridge was vulnerable to erosion from both river currents and tidal forces. The builders observed that oysters growing on the rocks could form towering oyster mountains in the water. This inspired them to protect the bridge's foundations by cultivating oysters around them. The oyster cultivation method pioneered in Quanzhou was an early example of applying natural biology to engineering and construction, something not widely adopted until modern times. This piece of ancient ingenuity has allowed Luoyang Bridge to remain intact for over 1,000 years. Historically, Quanzhou had the largest number of stone pier and stone beam bridges in China. According to expert estimates, 95 beam stone bridges were built in the Quanzhou area during the Song dynasty from the 10th to 13th centuries. These bridges, large and small, either extended into bays or connected islands, linking the port, docks, and the city into a comprehensive sea-land network. Local products from Quanzhou's surrounding areas, such as white porcelain from Dehua County, pig iron from Anxi County, incense from Yongchun County, and silk and tea from other parts of China, were shipped across the world through this bustling port system. The Song and Yuan dynasties witnessed the flourishing of maritime trade in Quanzhou. In 2019, an archaeological discovery in Shui-Men Lane within the ancient city provided solid evidence to support the historical records.
中间要捡起来看一下有没有字的，这边有没有？这边也有啊。
Archaeologists uncovered paved brick floors and stone walls, confirming the site dated to the Song and Yuan dynasties. Subsequently, a brick inscribed with special characters revealed the true identity of the site. The clear inscription on the wall brick proves that the ancient maritime trade office in Quanzhou was located in Shui-Men Lane of the old city. The maritime trade office is roughly equivalent to today's customs office. In 1087 AD, during the Northern Song dynasty, the Fujian Road Maritime Trade Office was established in Quanzhou, marking the prosperity of the city's foreign trade. During the Southern Song dynasty, from the 12th to the 13th centuries, the Maritime Trade Office in Quanzhou reduced some tax rates from 2 out of 10 to 1 out of 15 to attract both domestic and foreign merchants. This favorable tax policy significantly boosted the prosperity of Quanzhou port. Historical records indicate that by 1162 AD, the annual tax revenue from the Maritime Trade Office in Quanzhou accounted for nearly 2% of the total income of the ruling Southern Song dynasty. The booming maritime trade brought wealth to Quanzhou and facilitated a fusion of diverse cultures. Located on West Street in the ancient city, Kai Wen Temple serves as an intriguing testament to this blend. Wang Mingzhen, the director of Quanzhou Museum and an expert in traditional Minnan architecture, takes great pleasure in exploring traditional buildings and uncovering the historical stories attached to them. The West Pagoda of Kai Wen Temple, known as Renshou Pagoda, is made entirely of stone and designed in a 5-story octagonal structure. Among the numerous relief figures on the pagoda, one peculiar carving catches Huang Mingzhen's attention.
我们可以看到门跟龛呢两侧都有一个人物形象的雕刻，在第4层有一个很特别的一个雕塑，它呢就是看起来一个像我们《西游记》里面孙悟空的这么一个造型。
Upon closer inspection, the figure resembling Sun Wukong is shown wearing armor and wielding a blade. How did a character from the Ming Dynasty's journey to the West End up on a pagoda built during the long preceding Southern Song?
它的原型呢是印度教的一个神猴哈努曼的这么一个造型。因为宋元时期，特别是宋代开始以后呢，我们泉州的海外贸易特别兴盛，这些从阿拉伯、波斯、印度来的这些人呢，他们把他们的宗教信仰跟习俗呢都带到我们泉州。
Ancient Quanzhou was a city where many different peoples coexisted. Today, many residents of Quanzhou are descendants of this ethnic amalgamation, reflecting the city's identity as a diverse international metropolis. A grand celebration is underway in front of Quanzhou's Tianhe Temple. Every year, descendants of people from Quanzhou, from all around the world, come here to pray for blessings.
我们现在看到的是那个泉州天后宫。泉州天后宫始建于南宋庆元2年。
As a member of the staff at Quanzhou's Tianhe Temple, Liu Yumin sees thousands of visitors each year. He believes the temple has become a sacred site for many descendants of Quanzhou residents, due to its unique location within the ancient city. Directly south of the temple is the ancient city's south gate, Deji Gate, and not far from there lies an old street called Jubao Street.
泉州天后宫的南面是那个聚宝街。宋元时期，在泉州港的大部分的贸易是在这个聚宝街这个位置，所以这条街上它是奇珍异宝琳琅满目，所以构称聚宝街。
For local seafarers, Quanzhou's Tianhe Temple was their last stop before leaving home. Over time, the temple became a symbol of the deep connection and longing that millions of overseas Quanzhou descendants hold for their hometown. Bound to their homeland and language, Quanzhou people have long faced waves of migration and separation. Nanyin is a beloved musical form among Quanzhou residents, renowned as a living fossil of music. It preserves an ancient vocal and instrumental tradition that dates back to before the Tang dynasty. During the Southern Song dynasty, aristocratic refugees fleeing to Quanzhou brought northern music to the city, allowing this ancient sound from the Central Plains to survive and continue to thrive in local communities today, keeping alive memories of Quanzhou's ties to its northern roots. Migration has been a constant theme in Quanzhou's history. During the Ming and Qing dynasties, the imperial government imposed a series of maritime bans to protect against Japanese pirates. This severely damaged Quanzhou's maritime trade and led to many Quanzhou residents seeking new opportunities overseas in Southeast Asia. As a result, Quanzhou has become the prefecture-level city with the largest overseas Chinese population. In many of the surrounding towns and villages, 9 out of 10 families have overseas connections. Wulin Village is a well-known overseas Chinese village. Its Fanzai buildings, constructed by returning migrants alongside traditional Minnan houses, attract tourists seeking to explore this unique architectural blend. As the tourist flow peaks, this Nanyang coffee shop also enters its busiest period. Zayton, born in the 1980s in Wulin Village, returned to his hometown a few years ago to start his own business.
咱们华侨去到南洋，因为当时去到那个热带的时候，天气会比较炎热，他必须要喝点甜度来补充体力，所以就用那个炼乳加咖啡，所以演变到目前我们比较流行时尚一个年轻人都喜欢的一个南洋咖啡。
Over 100 years ago, like many Quanzhou residents, people from Wulin Village left home and journeyed to Southeast Asia in search of a fresh livelihood. After establishing themselves and accumulating wealth abroad, they came back to their hometowns and invested in local development. These overseas Chinese from Southeast Asia built small mansions that combine foreign and traditional Chinese architectural elements, known as Fanzai buildings. These structures often feature Roman-style columns and domes on the exterior, while maintaining a symmetrical Chinese layout inside. This reflects how Quanzhou's overseas Chinese embraced foreign lands, yet held onto their roots.
在海外，他有的赚的钱，他就想要落叶归根，要回来回馈家乡嘛，在这家乡建房子。
Fanzai buildings exude exotic charm, but traditional Minnan red brick residences capture the true essence of home for Quanzhou's overseas Chinese. Red bricks, white stones, swallowtail roofs, and intricate stone and wood sculptures are some of the distinctive features of traditional Minnan red brick residences. The roof ridges are shaped into smooth curves, with both ends curling upward in a swallowtail form, giving them their name. In the typhoon-prone Minnan region, These swallowtail roofs help ward off lightning and reduce the weight of the roofs. Locals affectionately call them two returning swallows' roofs, symbolizing the hope for wandering children to return home. The longing of wanderers for their hometown is intricately woven into the details of the traditional Minnan red brick residences. The door lintel, the horizontal beam above the main entrance, is often engraved with the family's origin, serving as a marker of the household's identity. For the ancestral home of the Zai family, this lintel signifies their forebears.
我们泉州人就很重视这个家族的根源，像这边门匾上写着的是丰田演派，那个演派意思，他就是说他从哪里来的，就是他们家族的发源地。这个老祖宗他是从山东，就是现在的西施那边一个村庄过来的。那他的老父亲，他种田的人都想要五谷丰登嘛，种田有收成嘛，就把他们家的这种灯号叫做丰田。
The traditional Minnan red brick residences embody the true essence of Quanzhou life, reflecting the enduring bond overseas Chinese have with their homeland. No matter how far they roam, their hearts always return, as if the swallowtail roof is calling them back. From the late Qing dynasty to 1949, Chinese immigrants played a crucial role as a bridge connecting Quanzhou with the world, leading to a new wave of cultural inheritance and renewal. Today, approximately 9.5 million overseas Chinese from Quanzhou live in more than 170 countries and regions, accounting for about 1/6 of the total overseas Chinese population. Those returning to their roots are still actively participating in the development of their homeland. Some pursue their dreams far away, while others seek to trace their lineage and return to their roots. The migration paths of ancient Quanzhou people fostered cultural exchanges between northern and southern China, as well as between China and the wider world, bridging Eastern and Western cultures. Today, as a key source of the ancient Maritime Silk Road, Quanzhou is vigorously participating in the construction of the 21st century Maritime Silk Road pilot zone. On September 28, 2023, China's first cross-sea high-speed railway, the Fuzhou-Xiamen High-Speed Railway, began operations. Trains traveling at a design speed of 350 kilometers per hour take just 98 seconds to cross the 8.96-kilometer-long offshore section of the Quanzhou Bay Cross-Sea Bridge. Quanzhou residents have officially joined the 1-hour living circle of Fuzhou and Xiamen. In this new era, Quanzhou is once again connecting mountains and seas, while forging links between nations at unprecedented speed.